Hi everybody, it's Tom from Permission to Travel. Today we're talking about Disney again, and today we're going to talk about some tips and tricks for Disney food and Disney dining. So let's dive right on in. And first we're going to talk about kind of the different choices that you get with Disney dining. The big thing to look at is whether you want to do quick service or whether you want to do table service. Quick service or counter service are kind of interchangeable. They allow you to kind of make it like it's fast food. You go up to a counter, you order your food, you get your food, you head on out. And so it's much faster and cheaper, and you get to just kind of go in and out and do what you want to do. The table service and also signature dining is a table service, obviously, where you sit down and you pick your meals and they get served to you by a waiter or a waitress, and it's a formal sit-down restaurant. The difference between the table service and signature dining is a little bit fancier, so it's more like fine dining. So a good example of that would be Jigo from Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's actually really good, but that's a good example of the difference between table and kind of the signature fine dining. Big difference between the two is just how fast you want your food and how much you want to spend. And that's the easiest way to look at the difference between those two. Just comes down to what you want to spend. After that, you want to look at, if you're going to do table service, it's actually cheaper to do it during lunch. So what you want to do is book your stuff during lunch. It's the same menu. It's just significantly cheaper. Some people like to do it for dinner for celebration, so you can still do that. It's just based on your budget. But your big thing is just making sure you look at what you want to do. But again, same menu. So I tend to do it for lunch because it tends to be cheaper. Big and probably the biggest out of all of it is the dining plan. So a lot of questions that I get about the dining plan. Dining plan is basically you're prepaying for your food. And so you get, based off of whether you choose quick service or whether you choose the table service, you get so many snacks and so many meals that you can get in a day. The quick service one is you get less food, but it is, you get more stuff to choose from. And then table service, you do reservations, and then you have more to go from. The table service one is more expensive. You get more credits, is what they call them. So you get more credits towards food, snacks, and drinks, and things like that. The quick service one is cheaper, but you get less credits, so you don't get as much stuff that you can do from there. So is it worth it? That's probably the biggest question out of all of it. That comes down to your budget and what you want to do with it. I tend to think that it is not worth it. Every time I've tried to do the dining plan, I've actually spent more than not. And I also feel like dining plan tends to have you counting your credits and doing stuff. I've heard of so many people where they do the bigger one, the table service one, and then they end up having a lot of snack credits at the end, and they have to buy a bunch of food to bring home with them when they're going home because they want to get their money's worth. But it really just comes down to where you're eating. If you do the cheaper places, then you end up kind of breaking even. If you do it with the more expensive places, then you tend to have some struggles in there. But the big thing is basically it's just prepaying for your food. It's not that it's majorly different in price. It's just, it comes down to whether you want to pay for it when you're there or pay for it ahead of time. So just again, comes down to your budget and what you want to do. Again, I tend to not get it just because I feel like it's not the wisest use of my money. I'd rather have the freedom of coming and going and getting what I want when I want it. After that, and probably another huge big one, is to make advanced reservations. The table services will sell out and book up. And so you want to be able to do that as quickly as possible. There's a different time when you can book based on whether you're staying at a Disney resort, whether you're staying off-site. If you're on-site, you get to book faster. If you're off-site, you have to wait a little bit longer, but it is basically 100% have to do situation. After that, we have bringing snacks and sandwiches. I've done this many times. You're allowed to bring snacks, you're allowed to bring water bottles, you're allowed to bring stuff into Disney. And so the big thing is just figuring out what snacks you want to bring in, what sandwiches you want to do. I tend to bring it in a cooler and then put it in a locker, and then just kind of swing through and eat my sandwiches and my snacks when I want to. There are times where I don't want to do that, and then I tend to just do my quick service or my table service and go from there. Sometimes I tend to wait till I get to Disney to make the choice, and then I'll go grocery shopping or do like Instacart or have somebody come in and do something from there. And then that's kind of how I tend to work that one. After that, we have asking for a cup of water. So you can actually go to the restaurants, you can ask them for water, and they will give you a cup of ice water. And so that's another way. There's obviously water fountains everywhere, but a lot of people don't like the water fountains or the taste of the water fountains. So you can actually go into any restaurant or go up to any quick service and ask them for some water, and they will give you a cup of ice water. The last one, and probably one of the bigger ones, is you want to eat in the off hours. And so obviously eating around noon for lunchtime and closer to like 6-ish, 5 to 6, probably even getting a little bit close to 7, are your busy times. And so you want to eat before or after those. I know there's kind of controversy within that, and some people feel like it doesn't really make a difference. I like to go before, I like to go early, and so I will hit them up. When places first open, they actually tend to be less crowded, and there's less lines. If you go afterwards, there's still lingering people, so there's trouble finding seats, or things will be messy, or there's things that might be, like the condiments might not be there, anything like that. So I tend to want to go earlier beforehand, just so I can beat the crowds, and then also have it not be crowded yet. And so that is the final tip that I have for food within Disney. There's obviously lots of good food when you go to Disney, so you can never do anything wrong. Lots of good snacks and quick services and table services and everything else, so you can't go wrong. But those are the big ones that I think are important for us to talk about. I hope that you are doing well. I hope you're having a great time traveling. Please like, please subscribe, please comment. If there's a tip that I left out or anything like that, please say something, let me know. And I will happily talk about it with you through the comments or anything like that. So remember to give yourself permission to travel. It is a great thing for us to do. It is great for our mental health to be able to travel. So give yourself that permission to go and do things. And I'll be coming at you sometime soon with some more tips, tricks, and stuff about travel. All right, have a great day. Thank you.